what were the names people were calling this pitch? Underprepared, sandpit. They should cut India's points from the WTC ranking. 615 is what India scored in their 2 innings. Now what will they say, Jamie?
कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना और अश्विन का काम है रन बनाना
और विकेट लेना
सबक सिखाना. I mean, look, I get where the criticism is coming from, but we also have to understand where it's coming from. When England were bossing India in the first test in Chennai, the same ground, there was no real talk from the England side or the Australian side, or let's say certain sections of the Western media and former players, because look, it happened. That said, the same Indian team, chiefly Virat Kohli and Ashwin, were very critical of the SG ball. Now, it's not like a new kind of SG ball was brought out for this match. Box of balls, wahi hai, ball wahi hai. But when the track is different, when the track is aiding your bowlers, and let's face it, Maya, in these conditions, you expect India to dominate. And they have done that here because the track was turning from day one, but their spinners have bowled far more. You look at the number of no balls, between the Indian spinners and the England spinners. That is also, there's a drastic difference, but you see this happen when the visiting team is down. That's why I said I get where it's coming from, but I would say it is a disservice to the game and how well India have played. If when this match is over, as it looks like being on day 4, people say that the pitch was not a factor in England's imminent defeat because they have been outbatted and outbowled by India.
Yes, and the man who did that and with such elan was Ravichandran Ashwin. It just goes back to how much Ashwin has worked on his batting after having been dropped for some of those test matches, Jamie, abroad, where rightfully so, you saw Virat Kohli going in with Ravindra Jadeja, given that Jadeja had improved so much in his batting. So, if they were to play only one spinner, they went in with Ravindra Jadeja. And I think that's where this whole thing of wanting to work on his batting, which he was always a good batsman, but you felt like that's where it sort of got into his head that I need to come back with my batting because the reason why I'm being left out of the side is because of my batting. And of course, then we saw in Adelaide, he did look like he was in form, but then to see him in Sydney, and he's just continued that in this test match. And yes, the pitch was difficult, but one of the things he said in the press conference yesterday was that, and which is what Rohit also said, was that you have to show intent on this because there will be that one ball that is going to get your wicket.
The intent word.
Yeah, but I think in this case, intent being used in a way that show more positive approach to your batting. That is basically not missing out any of the bad balls because you're only going to get those many chances to put away the bad deliveries. But the man looked so assured. Of course, I mean, that he was being supported very well by Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
But hats off to the way this duo batted today.
2 things for me have stood out. One, I briefly touched upon the way that England's bowlers bowled as compared to the way India's bowlers bowled, and expected to a certain extent क्योंकि आपको तो ये समझ के चलना पड़ेगा कि इंडिया के spinners अच्छी बॉल डालेंगे इन कंडीशन में. एंड इन कंडीशंस में what I'm talking about is conditions where there's more assistance for spinners off the track. It is actually an art to be able to bowl like this, and Ashwin, fantastic bowler, and Akshar Patel on debut have shown the kind of art required to bowl on this track, which I don't think Jack Leach and Moeen Ali did. Yes, they got 8 of the 10 wickets to fall in India's second innings, but you saw, even like you rightly said while we were watching the match, as well as Virat Kohli was playing, he did get some full tosses and some rank balls. These deliveries, the hittable balls, nearly vanished when Ashwin and Akshar bowled in the first innings, as well as in the brief passage of play before stumps on day 3. And also, just coming to where England's batsmen have played here. You saw first innings when they were rolled out for 134 something. A lot of the wickets came when they were playing back in the crease. They were stuck. You saw Rohit Sharma on day 1. Ball was turning on day 1. He was sweeping, he was attacking. Pujara was attacking, Rahane was attacking. And by attacking, I mean coming down the track and using their feet. We've not seen that, or perhaps England's batsmen were not allowed to do that by Ashwin and Akshar on day 2, and certainly not here on day 3. Yes, there's puffs of dust. The ball is spinning sharply. It's a wearing pitch. You can use whatever words you want to use, but it is not. And I want to stress here, it is not in the kind of in the nature or the vicinity of tracks which we saw in Kanpur 2008, Nagpur 2015, and Pune 2017. There was a lot more sharp lateral movement here.
Yes.
Will this pitch get a poor rating from the IC? I don't know. Perhaps yes. But to my mind, and I think this is what we also discussed earlier, it's not in the league of the matches I mentioned. You have to go down to how well the spinners bowled and how poorly England's batsmen played from the crease or back in the crease as compared to India's batsmen.
I think Jack Leach at least came back today with a better line. He was bowling much fuller than Moeen Ali, and I think that has been one of the difference you saw with Moeen Ali, especially not getting the line right and being taken away for runs. But Jamie, how wonderful was this moment where you have Ravichandran Ashwin at his home ground, Chennai, he's a Chennai boy. And as everybody is saying on Twitter, it's not a Kutti story, which is not a short story, because he really wrote an epic here. He's already got 5 wickets in the first innings. And then for him to go out there and score 100 in such a way. And I think the part that sort of stood out for me in this is the love. It's like Valentine's Day feels on the next day of Valentine's Day. Just the love or the happiness that you saw on Mohammad Siraj's face when Ashwin got to his 100. I think a bit of it was relief that, oh my gosh, I survived, and he was being cheered for every dot ball because, that's how badly Chennai wanted Ashwin to score 100, and I'm sure the team did as well. But just the emotion on Siraj's face, and you knew this team is in such a good space right now, after having won that series in Australia. Now, people can say what they are saying. I know Michael Vaughan said harsh words, and Simon Hughes and Mark Waugh, and there will always be this debate about green tops versus spinning tracks.
Yep.
And it can carry on.
And it's test. It's test cricket. It's supposed to test you. And so far, this Chennai pitch has been a test of application, of mental fortitude, of technique. And on all accounts, India's batsmen, like I said, have outranked England's batsmen. And it's full tribute to Kohli first and Ashwin second, because then he took a leaf out of Kohli's book, and then he played better than Kohli, some will say. But when 4 wickets fell to spin in the first session, none I must underline because of the pitch. Ben Foakes' brilliance, Pujara's unlucky moment, and then a rash shot from Rishabh Pant, which is fine. That's how he plays. So yes, Ashwin will be a very, very happy man. He said after the day's play, I don't know how I'm going to get time to recuperate. Like you said, got 5 wickets. We'll probably get 5 wickets again.
Yeah, and also an interesting thing that Ashwin said was that he hadn't played a sweep shot since he was 19 years. Like he's saying that now he... So I think there was also this thing, Jamie, which stood out for me in the press conference that Rohit Sharma had, where he said that they were very solid in their preparation for this pitch. They knew right away that this was going to be a turning track, out and out turning pitch.
Yep.
So the preparation that went into it, he said that sweep was something we discussed. We wanted to play that shot because it was a percentage shot, especially because as they were sweeping, you saw that, England maybe lost a trick because of not putting a square leg, knowing that
which is the same. The one aspect where Virat Kohli was found wanting in the first test when the root was hitting. So that field placing becomes very important.
Yeah. So I just think that in the end, India can be very happy with their performance. When do you see this game wrapping up? India wrapping up the game.
First session.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
First session.
Pretty straightforward. We can have our lunch. Maybe you can help me prepare something interesting. Are you on a diet?
Forget the diet. I'm not very good at making food, but
maybe you need to learn. See how Ashwin's getting back to his batting.
When will we see you, friends, on day 4? In the first half of the day or the second half of the day? Depends. But yeah, our gut feeling says कि यार वो India पहले 2 घंटे के अंदर एक सेशन में आखिरी के 7 विकेट ले लेगी.
Put them out of their misery.
आइए वापस हमसे बात करिए. हमारी कंटेंट अच्छी लगे तो लाइक करिए.
Maybe we can go live tomorrow.
We should go live. A lot of questions have come saying आप लोग live क्यों नहीं करते हो? तो हम शायद आखिरी दिन में live आएंगे. Stay tuned for more.
Goodbye.
Bye for now.